Mississippi Innovators Hall of Fame Legends Award. Sponsored by Cellular South. Jim Barksdale. Born January 24, 1943 in Jackson, James Love Barksdale learned a strong work ethic early in life. One of 6 brothers, Barksdale competed for the Boy of the Week honor, a silver dollar his parents awarded to the son who performed an outstanding good deed that week. He credits a close family life for his success and enjoys spending time with family in Mississippi. Jim and his wife, Donna, have 6 children and 6 grandchildren. Upon graduation from the University of Mississippi in 1965, Barksdale became an IBM sales representative in Memphis. In 1979, Jim joined Federal Express as Chief Information Officer and assumed the role of Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer in 1983. Launched as the airline for packages, Federal Express discovered early on that the information about a package was as important as the package itself. An innovator, Jim led the development of a computer system capable of tracking packages from shipment to delivery, so that customers could find out where their packages were at any given time. The system transformed the industry and marked the beginning of decades of technology development for FedEx.
At Federal Express, the tracking system became obvious when we realized that the information about a package quite often was just as important as the package. In other words, if the recipient or the sender knew where it was, it gave them peace of mind when we were trying to establish that new business, which also started a whole new industry, the overnight express business. When I first joined, we didn't have computerized tracking. We developed a system we called Cosmos. We were right on the forefront of a lot of things that we bought off the shelf, and a lot of things we had to develop ourselves, like the trackers and the barcode printers. And I remember hours being spent on how many times do you really have to scan a package, and what are we going to call the scan.
In 1992, he became President and Chief Operating Officer of McCaw Communications, a wireless phone company that later merged with AT&T Wireless. Barksdale served as CEO of AT&T Wireless until he joined the company that would become Netscape and found himself at the center of the Internet revolution.
I thought I was going to retire. I got a call to go down to this little startup that had about 40 people, 30 people there, called Mosaic Communications.
Right.
And I went on the board and I got fascinated by this company and the young people doing it, because it really did something revolutionary. It made it where mere mortals could use the internet. I'd been a user of online services for years from my background, but I saw that this was really some big idea, and we renamed the company Netscape Communications in the fall of '94 and took it public in August of '95, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Netscape merged with America Online in 1999. At that time, Jim joined the Time Warner Board of Directors. In 2000, Jim gifted $100 million to the state of Mississippi to create a statewide reading institute. The Barksdale Reading Institute is a joint venture with the Mississippi Department of Education and the state's public universities, designed to improve pre-literacy and reading skills of Mississippi children from birth through 3rd grade.
Reading is the key. If you can't read, you can't learn anything else. Reading is a skill, and I'm not an expert on this, but I've read a lot about it, and Claiborne has tutored me on a lot of this, as well as Carla Dearman and some other wonderful people with the program. Reading is a skill that if you take action at the very early stages, like 6 weeks of life, up through the 3rd grade, you can get children to the level of reading at 3rd grade proficiency, we call it, at the end of the 3rd grade. And once you do that, you've accomplished many things. If a child can't read, they can't learn, and therefore they drop out of school or lose interest.
In 2005, his state called him to public service. Governor Haley Barbour asked him to lead the Governor's Commission on Recovery, Rebuilding, and Renewal following Hurricane Katrina. The commission was tasked with reimagining the Mississippi Gulf Coast in the wake of Katrina's devastation. Commission members, local leaders, and volunteers devoted more than 50,000 man-hours to the project.
very specific plans, recommendations, ideas, how to account for them, how to fund them, who's accountable, who's responsible, and how to get it done that are going to be, we think, different than any previous plans of this nature. It's probably the largest, most intensive planning effort, certainly urban planning effort ever attempted in the United States, if not the world. I have never seen people work so hard without being paid on an issue that meant so much to everybody. It goes back to that old point that I made in the intro about no man is an island. I also saw local officials, mayors, councilmen, aldermen and supervisors who spent countless hours giving us their very best thoughts and dreams, working on all that, while during the daytime they're handling all the myriad of people who are coming to them, besieging them with requests, and they themselves had perhaps the loss of their home. I think half the mayors lost their homes. They had their own family disrupted, moved away maybe, but they hung in there and you never heard anybody complaining. It was quite rewarding to watch that kind of leadership and effort by citizens and by their leaders.
With a talent for using innovative technologies to change the way companies and consumers do business, and the wisdom gained from more than 3 decades of managing technology-oriented companies, Barksdale has turned his attention to philanthropic endeavors and helping new business ventures.
This is your announcer, Bunny, with the following announcement. Between the Lions is funded in part by a cooperative agreement from the U.S. Department of Education and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting's Ready to Learn grant, and by the Barksdale Reading Institute. Thank you. But wait, there's more!
As chairman of the board and president of Barksdale Management Corporation, a philanthropic investment company, he lends his support to education and literacy efforts, such as the production of PBS Kids' Between the Lions and the establishment of the Mississippi Children's Museum. He is featured in the museum's Mississippi Heroes video, which encourages children to stay in school and identify positive role models. Barksdale urges Mississippi children to use the same focus that serves him well in business and in life.
One thing Mississippians are known for is something called entrepreneurship.
That means they are smart business people.
Right. For instance, did you know the guy who created Netscape is from Mississippi?
James Barksdale. Not only do we know about him, we just happen to have, voila.
One of the pressures all young people feel is to go with the flow or stay with their group of friends, even though maybe their friends are getting them into some things that are not quite what they want to be doing or not healthy or not good for them. Always set your own course. Follow your own path. Follow your own dreams. If you feel like a group is getting you off over here doing something that's not right, try to change the group. Make new friends. Find new places to hang out. And try to stay always focused on your life and trying to get yourself ahead of where you were yesterday and moving towards a better tomorrow.
Jim is known for encouraging his employees to keep the main thing, and being a cheerleader for their cause.
What is the main thing? The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. Now we're going to come back to this in a minute. I'm going to give a test. I notice nobody's taking notes. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. I want to repeat this with your help, because I too want to be like your U.S. senators and be a cheerleader. So I'm going to lead you in a cheer. I want everybody in caps and gowns, that includes faculty and students, to show your parents and loved ones how loud, raucous, and smart you can be all at the same time. All right? So, what I'm going to do, and I promise you, if you don't participate, I will be disappointed. I'm going to say, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. Now watch for the finger or we'll get terribly out of sync here, okay? Are you ready? Now you're going to have one chance now, all right? I want to hear it. Ole Miss is on the 5, we're running the sweep, we need some help, okay? You ready? The
Jim Barksdale, entrepreneur, philanthropist, technology innovator, and now recipient of MTA's Mississippi Innovators Legends Award.